Hello everybody, welcome back again to Spoiler Warning. I'm Josh, with me is Chris and Alex, and today we're playing Kona, the most Canadian video game ever.
I'm confused. Is the name meant to be ironic?
What, in that, like, it invokes images of Kona coffee, and this is set in Montreal in the 70s.
Well, Kona's an island in Hawaii, isn't it? Like,
I don't know if it's actually an island in Hawaii or just someplace. I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been 20 years since I was in Hawaii, so.
I will say this is probably the most Canadian game ever, and I know this because well, that's alright. Because I did my comprehensive exams in Canadian literature, and I tried to shoehorn it in games as much as possible, and I couldn't find much as far as games made by Canadians, which this is, because it's funded by a Canadian research, not a research grant, like a arts endowment fund. Yeah. So made by Canadians, set in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the 70s. It's actually, aside from the narration, which I think was redone in English for like the Steam release, it's like the entire game is in French.
Well, actually, the entire
Quebecois French.
William Hamilton's name written all over.
Which is different from France French. It's a big tension between the two speakings.
So we are a hard-boiled detective in 70s Quebec. And a rich English industrialist has hired us to deal with agitators or something.
But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely.
I'm just picturing Zap Rosdower, the younger years.
But he's French. Yeah, this is what detectives do, is pick up empty bottles out of trash cans.
Picking up bottles is definitely a Zap Rosdower thing.
Kind of sets the tone right there.
Emperor Duplessis, in spite of his conservative
the Quebec
agenda,
flag.
did a good job in colonizing.
There's a lot of educational elements in this game, which maybe the government forced them to include, I don't know, but it's kind of nice to learn if you're vaguely at all interested in Canadian history and Quebec history.
The red Canadian flags on the other side of the province.
Like, it may be interesting, interested enough to, like, go on Wikipedia and learn about, like, hey, what was with this Quebecois
Canadian Firewatch?
Here in the back of
you know, like they're apparently like this separatist movement was kind of a big deal, I guess, in the 70s. Quebec independence.
There was no
I mean, it still comes up from time to time now, doesn't it?
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
obviously not as intensely.
Yeah.
Hamilton is waiting for Carl.
People aren't rioting as much, and I think the
militants
younger
escaping.
generation are more interested in staying in Canada rather than leaving, but you still very much have, like, the old traditionalists that are very much into Quebec just being a nation within a nation, is what they call it.
When it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's
Yeah, like, who else would ever care to learn about this stuff? And I wonder if the game will make more people interested, which is really nice.
Hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired.
Anyway, so this guy Hamilton is this wealthy Englishman. Which the fact that he's an Englishman is, I guess, a point of serious contention in this basically French-speaking small town in Quebec.
And the mention of the Cree people as well, which of course is always like a rife incident.
So the guy's
There's a lot of
voice is
connections to Until Dawn here in this game.
The guy's voice reminds me of like a combination of a museum tour guide on tape and Space Ghost. That was a nicely executed scripted crash, though.
Yeah.
There is something left to be desired with that narrator. Just, if he only gave a little bit more of...
Like I think clearly going for like
noir, disaffected, yeah. But it needs to be a little bit more grizzled and a little bit more world weary.
Yeah.
He mostly just sounds bored.
Oh no.
So how long were we out?
Couple hours. No, I don't want to deposit stuff in this truck.
Does that really say Chevrolet?
Yes, it. Chevrolet.
Laura.
Ah.
Nice catch.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore. The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
It sounds like a 90s video game reader. I'm sorry, I'm hooked on the narrator thing. Go ahead.
His last hope was to find
I mean, it's an indie game, and it was an indie game that was made by French people in French. So, like,
well, I actually wonder whether it would be better to like
an English-speaking narrator. Yay!
Have English subtitles over French words.
That happens in other places in the game. Like pretty much any other time that you hear like people talking, like that's in French. Let's see here. We wanna. Oh right, we need some logs.
So I suppose we should establish the context of Josh has finished this game. Alex has played the alpha, the early version, and I have not.
Yeah, I played
seen
a
or
bit
done
more
anything
today
with it.
too. So I got a little farther than what the alpha had.
Like as I understand it, the early access version was like 75% of the whole game.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert
According
had
to like what I
succeeded
could
once
explore on the
more
map,
and
then
was now
yes.
on his way to new adventures.
So how much of this is like the long dark versus? Is it just about staying warm?
There's elements of like if you stay out too long and freeze to death, you die, and that's about it. Like you don't have to worry about food or anything.
It kind of looks and feels again like Long Dark meets Firewatch.
Yes, that is a good way to
pick up a
describe
lot
it.
of these logs. Oh, there we go. Yes, I am the log master. Carl's inventory is full. Fuck. So there's sanity, warmth, and health basically are your three resources. And there's no like hunger, or worrying about calories or sleep or whatever.
A nice touch in this game with the sanity meter is if you like crash your car a little bit, your sanity goes down just a tad.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah.
You also raise it by smoking, so you know.
Ah.
So we've got chains for the car, so now we can make the car drive in this snowy weather that is inexplicable and unseasonal.
Wait, what time of year is it?
I think it's like September, like October. Oh,
that doesn't sound that unseasonal.
I was gonna say if it's April, that could be a possibility. That it could be seasonal.
I think it was later in the year. Here's a... No, that's not what I want. Journal.
Carl, ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike.
But didn't date anything.
Cold mystery. There's not a lot here. So it's supposed to be 52 Fahrenheit.
Oh, April 1st. I like how they have it in Fahrenheit.
That was pretty common to use in Canada, like even through now, isn't it, to use Fahrenheit?
No. Not at all.
Oh, really?
America is
maybe
literally
back in the
about
70s.
it.
Yeah. Like I remember, like Canada had that. What did? Oh, okay, that was automatic. Canada had that thing where you guys switched over to the metric system in like the 80s or 90s.
That could be it.
Or maybe
so it could be very accurate.
Yeah.
I've driven in weather like this. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I'm grateful I live in the South.
Spread out
I mean, I
on
used to live
2 acres
20
of
miles south of
untouched
the
forest,
Canadian border,
allowing
so...
caribou,
Oh, you
In
would
fact, I
well
was
know that.
born, like,
undefiled
on
range.
the Canadian border
The
in
Manastan
Washington,
region was
so...
no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry. The truck was
That is the one
running
thing
on
I will say about like
thing that
Canadian
the general
narratives
store
like
was
this.
close
It's
by.
always about indigenous people and ghosts and mining. There's a lot of that.
Got a loading screen here, that's fun.
Oh, I thought the stream crashed.
No, I was doing a little circle in the center. The game does not do a whole lot of this hand-holding driving for you from here on out, so it's kind of weird. Like, I haven't... I finished it, I'm used to the whole driving around in the car, not being impeded by this weird stuff.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
The bottom
The
of the
milkman
box.
had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
Oh no!
Carl
The probably evil Englishman is
had been
dead!
killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out.
And this wasn't in
But
the
only a
alpha.
detective could have noticed that the killer had
Oh, this
to have
wasn't?
been very close.
Yeah.
That the fatal
And so when I
Like,
saw it,
this
it
is
scared
the
the
first
shit out
thing
of
you
me.
run into. Oh, huh.
The goal of this part in the alpha is just to like turn the power on to get
What
gas.
could be inside that
Oh,
envelope?
really?
Carl was taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
Anyway, whatever
Why-
was
why
in
would
the
he know
envelope
that?
is gone. I mean, he's Canadian, and he's a detective.
I don't know this. I don't know
Oh,
the PO box
no.
for the American Secret Service or the yeah.
This is 70s.
Make sure to put a blanket over the
Wait.
body.
Go back and look at the serials. I want to see what funny fake.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something
What?
from his military training.
They had like Apple Jacks and stuff. Like, what's their Apple Jacks parody?
Stay away from
Apple Jacks.
I like that one.
Wait, was it about bears?
Anyway, I just wanted to see what names they came up with. Apparently their pun version, or not pun approach, but like their parody name is something that sounds very close, but is sort of vaguely French. And I can respect that.
You can actually put a blanket over the
Explained
body
that
so
the
you don't
garage
have to
and
look
the
at it.
store couldn't be
Yeah,
supplied with electricity at the same
How
time.
do I do that here? I remember that.
Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a
There we
terrifying
go.
realization. If Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay
No
him?
one wants to see that.
Hamilton was dead. Who was going to pay him? Oh, no!
A nice picture.
Because
of
this is the part where
Magazzana
you just turn
house,
around and leave.
seemingly
Because you're like,
taken
well,
the day it was first
there's
opened.
no job.
It feels
And I'm a
frozen in
hard-boiled
time
detective
from
who's,
an
you know,
era
supposed to
long
be in it for the money.
Carl was no
Okay, I
electrician, but he
need
could identify a
duct
wiring
tape
problem
and
and
pliers.
That's a wiring problem, all right.
Carl
Oh, we also
was
got
used
this
to
weird
strange
shit.
phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first. Prince? Carl found a surprise at every turn. Was the camera faulty, or was it a possible lead?
What is the purpose of putting the fires out, putting the fires on outside when you're near a warm building?
Mostly wasting resources, you know.
Yeah.
Did we grab the key?
I'm not sure I remember where the key is. It's
Isn't it
probably
the
over
thing
here
that fell to?
somewhere.
Isn't that the thing that fell to the bottom of the mailbox?
No, we need a key to open the mailbox.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his
Ah,
hands
there's the
on.
key. Need to put in 2 numbers and then turn the crank. Where's the crank?
Press sail first.
Oh, yeah, sail.
Or
There
salé.
we go.
How did you guys know
that's the
that?
post key. Because there was a thing over there that told us how to open it.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone. Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
Anyway, so Hamilton kind of owns, like, the whole town, or did until he got murdered. Record player isn't working, you guys.
But what's the
damn.
band?
There's like one song in this game.
No, but I literally just want to know what the name of the record in the player is.
I don't know if it's got the resolution to show you.
Did that really
but I'll
say
take a
Maxwell
look.
House Coffee? I'm really
Yeah.
interested in this game's
It
brands.
is
I don't know why.
Vinyl style.
Ooh.
That's not as good.
That's Hawaiian Coffee, and that's Maxime House.
Ah.
Oh, there's
yes,
your
okay.
Kona reference. The Hawaii connection.
Yeah. Does Kona mean something in Cree? I feel like that would make more sense.
I'll look it up. Searching Kona in
Snow.
Cree brings up the website for this game, so
Notwithstanding Carl's imposing
Means
stature,
snow, apparently.
powerlifting wasn't part of his skill set
Ah, that
yet.
makes sense.
Alex is a better Googler than I am.
I feel like I've looked it up before, too.
Alright, let's go get
The sassy
generator
text.
working.
I like the sassy text. I like. I wish it had a better sense of. It feels too snarky to feel like his inner monologue because they're building up this gruff, stoic noir man. So I don't know whether that's the narrator or who that's supposed to be, but I like the text. I just wish it like felt like I knew who the voice was supposed to be. If that makes any sense.
He does get a little sillier. Like, I wouldn't say he's like the traditional gruff,
The
hard-boiled
note
detective.
explained that the garage
Like,
and
he
the
just makes
store
weird
couldn't
sort
be
of silly
supplied
comments
with
all the time.
electricity at the same time.
Do I need to hit the generator button? Ah, yeah, there we go. Alright, power to the store.
Nice.
You can kind of hear that song that's playing. That is the one song in the entire game, so I hope you like it. Alright, we turn on the pump, so now we can get gas. Oh, there's a gun
A
in the
murder
post
weapon.
box.
What was that doing
Oh,
there?
gasp.
Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep.
I don't know, but I'm gonna put my fingerprints all over it.
Key.
Oh, don't
Shame,
worry.
unlucky.
I'm sure we won't ever have to
Everything
fire
made
it
sense
during the
now.
course of this game.
Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted.
Because that would just
and
be
he
a
figured it would
complete,
be best to
you know,
lock
breach
everything
of
up
all
and send the key
protocol
to
when
his
it comes to murder
correspondent,
weapons.
who would receive the box later on. Clever?
We
Not
decide.
enough. That's what happens to ordinary people playing spy.
Anyway, so the murderer put his weapon in here. Hamilton also apparently sent something in that box. Alright, let's fill up the tank here. It was a letter to the Secret Service.
Carl knew straight away where to find the infuriated
Dear Secret
Gillette.
Service,
Oh,
I
that's
like
what
you.
investigation
Do you like
had
me?
to start.
YN.
Unbranded cans. Not interested. Do you want to, I think you turned the generator off.
No, I disconnected the power. Oh. Is there power in here now? No. It's on.
Yeah, because you turned the power off. You just have to make sure the breaker
okay. That
isn't
switch
on
turns
for...
power on to everything, and I need to... Okay, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, electricity regenerate. Now the garage should be on.
Or the garage. As they say in Quebec. No.
Do you even know?
I'll clarify this now so no one in the comments gets mad. No one says garage.
Don't British people say
no
garage?
French.
A
You
little
are
bit.
Canadian.
We had to take it up till grade 9.
Yeah, I had Spanish. Ah, there's the button. So there's a lot of like puzzles like this in the game where
the crowbar was within Carl's grasp.
find certain things and combine certain
Surely
things in
it
certain
would come
orders
in
to get
handy
other
at some
things, and it's
point.
very
So-
adventure gamey.
Why did we need a crowbar again?
It's just, you know, general Gordon Freeman-ness.
No, but seriously, like,
I haven't found a use for it yet. You get a hammer or two, and it's like, okay.
There, you need it at some point. I know. Oh, we also have some wine, some sherry. So this game is kind of non-linear. You can kind of, let me pull up the map here. You can kind of just wander around the southern portion of this map and put the pieces together as you go. Like everything from that river down. Unfortunately, this caused a problem because I apparently missed the most important early on clue and did not find that until like I got to the end of the game, could not get through a door and looked it up.
have we already picked up said clue, or are you about to show us?
I will show you what's going on. Do we have the clue that suggests that, oh, we need to find, Gillet? Giles? I don't know.
Oh god. I'll let you try and
The
struggle with that one.
Polaroid, Carl's long-standing...
Wasn't it Giles and Buffy?
...had seen its share of husbands caught red-handed cheating. There's always something out there waiting to be snapped away.
Anyway, so we find this, this thing here, and the thing you're supposed to do is see this wolf trail and follow it. I did not do this.
It's not really
I
a
did
good
not
idea
realize
in a
this-
survival game to follow wolf trail path. Like,
No. We even saw some wolves earlier. Ooh, an outhouse.
because wolves equals murder.
We've got these, what button is it to take out the camera? This game is kind of built for a gamepad, as you can tell by the cross-shaped thing. Nope. There we go. 3. Okay. I remember what I'm doing now.
Carl was
You got
beginning
these
to love the
like
store
weird
and its
tracks
surroundings like the
that
back
look
of his
that show up only when you take photos.
Excellent.
Oh. Oh dear.
Oh no.
This gun does not look functional.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a
Man, this kid's making
fossilized
some
in
real
ice.
fancy snowmans in the 70s.
All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from
It
his
gets
grasp.
supernatural real fast.
So there are a number of these visions that you have, and this is supposed to be the first one, and this was the last one I saw, so everything was weird and confusing.
To all appearances, this was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
So there's a person keeping a journal, talking about a beast, specifically referring to white people, which suggests that they're not. And that kind of gets into, like, this game has some supernatural elements, and I don't know how to feel about them because they're Native American supernaturalism, and that's often misrepresented in
engraved numbers
popular media.
A fresh path suddenly
Yep.
Could they be the key to a safe? No, that's ridiculous. I couldn't get into that safe until the end of the game either.
It's really weird to me that we're following this memory backwards.
Well, we found where the guy
The
died.
further Carl moved away from the ice block, the more his senses came back to him.
Yeah, this makes a lot more sense than the way that I experienced these visions of just, like, finding a lady in a
Carl had
house and she was
when
frozen.
he
It was like,
both
oh, that's
hands in
weird.
hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was.
Is that a thing that people do?
The general store's manager himself.
Gilles Deschamps. What?
Do people put their hands in warm water after they've been frozen?
I feel like you shouldn't.
It'd be the worst parking job
I've done that before.
This is like a shock
I mean,
to
like,
the
not, my
system.
hands weren't frozen,
It
but,
may be customary to park like that
you
around
know,
these
my hands were
parts,
cold.
or not.
So, like, I guess I should explain, like, I specifically moved to Vegas. Like, I moved out of my parents' house, and I could pretty much go wherever I wanted to because I work remotely. And I decided to move to Vegas because I had, for the past, like, 20 years or so, lived in areas with fairly temperate climates that got very cold during the winter. And I was like, fuck that. I want to live in a place where it
so
does not
cold.
get
Already
fucking
Carl did not
blizzards
feel his
all the
toes
time.
anymore.
Sounds nice to me.
So now I live in a place where it's, you know, 45 degrees Celsius right now. Like, literally at this moment.